Okay, we're on the cruise. We left New York. We had to skip Halifax, Nova Scotia because of weather. So we're going to pick up an extra day, I guess in Scotland or someplace like that. I'm not sure. So anyway, we get to Iceland, and I have to say that on the way home, the flight from England back to the United States, we flew over Greenland. And if ever two countries have been misnamed, it is Iceland and Greenland. They absolutely should be reversed. Iceland, the time of year we were there, was very green, spring-like. There is a big lack of trees where we were. The language Icelandic is extremely strange, and to try and pronounce the names of the towns that we visited was almost impossible. We found the towns extremely clean. Most people did speak English, and the architecture was rather interesting. Almost, I would say, across from British or the Netherlands. Now, one of the things that we found, and I don't know which city it was in, but there was a lot of monuments to Leif Erikson, the Viking, who apparently visited North America or these islands on the way to North America, and ancestors were born. There's a good statue of Leif Erikson. So anyway, he apparently is a very large part of their history. Now, all Barbara and I usually did is get off the ship and walk into town. We didn't go on any organized tours. I don't know that there was that much to see. But we did get a chance to walk through some beautiful churches. I just did some double checking on the date of the cruise, so we were in Iceland in June of 2018. It was like springtime. The flowers were in bloom. The trees had blossoms. It was quite a pretty town, and we did a lot of walking. It was very, very interesting. There's something you don't see in the United States on a very often basis, but these were nannies pushing carts with a bunch of kids in it. All right, we're back on board the ship. We're sailing out of this port, headed towards another port. In some areas of the island, there is a great deal of snow. I'm looking forward to showing you the video flying over Greenland, though. That was amazing. You talk about a country buried in ice and snow. That was it. Anyway, Iceland is very, very pretty. Um, why anybody would live there when you could live in Southern California, I don't understand. So what the ship does, it sails overnight from one port to another port. I have no idea about the distances from one port to the next port, but they were pretty much the same. Now, I don't know how you pronounce this city of Iceland. I don't know, beats the heck out of me. Ooh, somebody's asleep. You know, it's interesting to me how the ports of Iceland, or Iceland, what we could see from the ship and from walking on shore, how devoid of trees. And so therefore I have to believe that all the lumber here, houses built of wood, would have to be imported, or anything that's built of wood. Now, a lot of the places were built out of corrugated steel, I guess it is, like they did in the Quonset huts during World War II, the ragged cliff. So, but they were all colorful and a very, very clean country.
Life is good for them. Huh? What are they picking at? You don't have no food to feed them.
By the way, when we went into some of the towns, they had some small, very small, casinos, slot machines. And you had to buy coin from the dealer there and insert it. But we did visit a couple of them. In the meantime, we just walked and walked and walked. Lots of fun. Now, I suspect that Iceland is seasonal, okay? That means that the cruise ships can only come into these ports a certain time of the year. I bet you that season is not very long, maybe June, July, and August. That's a good example of corrugated metal where they have not kept the rust off and kept it painted. Okay, but there was a lot of that use here in the country of Iceland. So now we're sailing out of the port again overnight to the next stop. You can see the snow at the higher levels down close to the seashore. The snow is not. one of the things I failed to find out is what the major industries of this place is. I would assume that it's major fishing area, but I assume that there's some farming out of town. Of course, the only place we stop is in major cities. Now, this was an interesting experience, okay? Barbara and I walked into a tourist information office, and I asked if they knew of any 12-step meetings close by, and she took me out the front door and pointed right directly across the street, and we found a meeting of people that work a 12-step program. Very, very interesting. I wonder what this place is like in the wintertime, because that's a lot of snow, and this is the late June.